Now would be the time.
Well, I mean, everybody that has him right now got him for free, right?
You got bamboozled.
you know, I don't think you want any of those running backs.
No, nobody's paid for him, which is nice. So he's free on your roster. If
I would be
I think
trading him for a third-round future pick.
that might be the best tip of the night.
Trading him for 10 fab.
Unless you're in my Dynasty League, I think if you have Bryce Love, you should trade him now. If you're in my Dynasty League, I think you should buy. Send me offers now, and I will let you know.
Oh, I missed an in-sync drop opportunity on that one.
What was that? Let's see it.
Bye.
Pocket pool. Washington has a horrific offensive line, possibly the worst in the NFL, and one of not the worst QB situations in the NFL. Avoid all skins this year.
Thanks for the question, Pocket Pool. You should probably avoid the skins.
I would
agree.
Washington Football Club. Washington Football Club.
No, hard pass.
Yeah.
Hard pass.
I feel like maybe that is my alternate account because I couldn't agree more. I just ended up with these people on my roster. I didn't choose this path.
You had to get them somewhere.
The life chose me. But yes, I agree. Does Alex Smith play football again?
I hope just for
right?
just for the story, the comeback story. I hope he does. I don't know. I don't think he'll be good. I don't think he'll be usable.
Over
I'm
under.
not trying to get him. He's on waivers. Nobody's picking him up in our dynasty. But you root for a guy coming back from a tough injury and fighting his way through. And he seemed like a good guy from the little bits I'd seen of him.
Horrific story.
It's
just brutal.
But
you go down and all of a sudden you almost die within 48 hours.
It's interesting. It's an interesting.
Insane.
I don't know if dichotomy is the right word, but how people are worried about going and getting COVID and made such a big deal. In the meantime, a guy getting his leg ripped off, and we're like, well, that happens.
I know.
If you had to choose between the two, what would you pick? But so there again, football. There's inherent danger in playing football,
for sure.
And there are things that happen. So
Bears fans know the Zach Miller injury.
That was a big one. What was the
crazy.
Steelers? Was his safety?
Yeah, I know
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Shazier.
so
Ryan
Shazier. Yeah, it's a risk.
He's still trying to play football again too. Apparently,
yeah. There's no guarantees, and I think that
yeah,
as long as those people understand the risk and then are willing to take it, then,
right?
They get to make their choices. But
did you watch the first episode of Hard Knocks?
I did not. So I have not been a big Hard Knocks follower. I would see clips of it during the Antonio Brown Raiders saga, which seems so long ago now.
It does.
But,
it was COVID ago, at least.
Yeah, back when we could go outside,
right.
But
he actually has probably been pretty well behaved, not being able to do anything.
I don't even want to speculate to the kind of things that Antonio Brown gets up to when he's, on
his own free time.
Yeah. So, but again, it would be definitely news if he came back and signed with the team.
He's trying, right?
Green Bay Packers. Boom. Where does he go? What do you trade for him?
If you want Antonio Brown on the Packers, I think he would take him. He doesn't care. He wants to play. He wants to see good football. He wants to see a Packers win. Would you want him on the Bears?
No.
No.
Why
not?
Bears would be a bad fit. I don't want him anywhere near anything that has anything to do with any of the football.
How can the Bears say no to any type of receiver talent or any talent?
They just
maybe Antonio Brown can throw the football. I don't know.
Go well. They'd pay him too much. He wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
It would be a disaster.
What if it's a Kareem Hunt
contract? If the Patriots
contract?
couldn't handle it, if the Patriots couldn't make it work, I don't have faith that the
tried.
Bears are going to tamp down as crazy and just get the most out of him, especially with kind of Foles and Trubisky slinging the rock. But
yeah.
Did see a report that Foles was maybe had the slight edge in camp today as far as who looked better, but it sounds like it's close.
Again, if it's any competition, I'm less happy with the Foles pickup. I want them to say, yep, we're starting Foles. No?
Again, it's not impossible that Mitch comes out and could be middling to good. It's not impossible. I'm not saying it's great. I'm not saying I'd bet on it. But I'm saying, let's see.
I don't even want the drop. Don't give me the drop.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
No. I don't like it. I don't want to see him play.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Oh, my goodness.
No!
Oh, that was watching the offense all last year, I feel like.
It was bad. David Montgomery. All right, there's a lot of hate for David Montgomery in fantasy.
David, I picked him up.
Yep.
He and James Conner combined to lose me a league where I made great wide receiver choices, and I just double missed on the running back. I'm ready to get hurt again. The opportunities
I
there.
will go down this road again.
If the Bears, and they were really bad. Like
They were
it
really
might
bad.
not come through if you look at box scores, but if you were a fan and you watched,
They were
it
really
was
bad.
just so bad. And David Montgomery, the way that he had the best looking 2 or 3 yard runs. He would break 4 tackles to get 3 yards. And he's moving, and he's
Unless
and
it
he
was
looks
for a first
athletic,
down.
and they just would, and they'd like string together 3 nice plays and then just not get the first down all the time. They just couldn't put together enough to keep a drive
3 yard
going.
run, 3 yard run, incompletion, punt.
Do you like him better with Foles? Like, does Foles help David Montgomery?
It can't be worse.
I think that Foles could be better for everybody except Allen Robinson, because Mitch would just throw it to Allen Robinson all the time. Robinson, to his credit, would make great catches. But I think that offense isn't one where you just want to have Allen Robinson being like he's not the star that can just be the one receiver like a DeAndre Hopkins or Julio Jones.
For sure.
And I think if Foles could get it going, run the offense better, I think Nagy's got good schemes. Mitch just couldn't, run it a lot of the times. I think, again, what it looked like to me is that just his processing, like he couldn't just make the quick decision. It always looked like he was thinking, and it wasn't just smooth. Whereas if Foles could come in and kind of make those quick decisions, make those read options without kind of doing that little, I think that, I'd take the chance on David Montgomery, especially where he's going. He's been going late. You could get him as, your RB2 or 3, depending on how you've built your team.
Yeah.
He's going to get the ball. He's going to get chances. They could pass it to him more. He could get more touchdowns.
I like him in his ADP.
Yeah, I definitely
There's
would
worse
take the
options
shot.
around there that you could.
Ready to get hurt again. Yeah.
All right, so I got a situation I want to propose to you.
All
so
right,
let's
let's hear it.
say season starts, right? Week 2, 2 teams that played each other, big COVID outbreaks, right? They have to cancel 2 games. That would severely affect fantasy, no?
Yes.
So let's say Kansas City plays the Bears, right?
Yep.
They all battle it out. 15 players on each team get it.
My belief of how they're going to do it is they're going to try to test people quick enough that they won't have the whole team like exposed and test positive.
Okay.
And that you just have to field a team. Rough for your team if Pat Mahomes and Travis Kelce were hanging out one night, they both got it and they're out. But I think
We thought about that, and then
I think
the
what
Marlins
you have
thing
to
happened.
do is you just have to field a team. And maybe you can't use – but again, it's like, do they count guys who were at a practice with a guy who tested positive as positive? I think you get a positive test immediately after you test the whole team.
Right.
And then anybody that tests negative is eligible. And again, and you keep testing them up into the game. But likely scenario, the most that from the time that they found out a guy had it to the game would be a week, unless you had a bye week, and then maybe it'd be 2.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I understand it, but unless
you play a game, they test you the next day, so it's Monday, and that guy's positive, and then they test everybody else.
I just don't have faith in the process.
I did hear today that it seems like they're getting better with the testing. They've maybe developed one that's quicker.
It's not even the
but
testing.
It seems like they're getting tested. They have access in the
It's
NFL.
when it comes down to the people giving the test, people, organizing players. I mean, the baseball barely has it.
Well, baseball has the luxury of being able to make up games at different times, where the NFL can't
Right.
because everybody plays on the same
Right.
day and there's less games. That's why I think they're going to say you got to field a team, and if you
No, and I think you can field the team, but what does it do for fantasy? So you have 15 players on you have
if
to
it's
replace
your
them
guy, it hurts you,
but what if it's 5 of your guys?
and it crushes you, and
Right.
you lose that week.
Okay, but is that fair to even have a fantasy season?
Why
then?
it's fair is because it could happen to anybody,
But the fact that it did happen,
but it could happen to anybody.
it doesn't matter that it could happen, is that it did happen.
So we're all going into the same, it's fair.
Right.
It stinks and it could cost you.
Right.
That's why maybe you have to focus more on depth, though. Like maybe we add more roster spots to your team so that you can field a team, even if you're good. Awful if you're a good guy. Like for your fantasy team goes
Right.
down.
But
Again,
how many-
it could happen to anybody at any week, so it's fair in that aspect.
How many concessions can you make before the fantasy season doesn't have actual value?
It has value. It has different value. You're not going to be able to play it before where you just have your 5 studs and that's all that plays, perhaps because maybe
I agree. I think it'd be an advantage to people like us and people that watch this podcast that are, taking it more serious and investing time in it. But it's kind of like what they were doing with the baseball season now. It's like, oh, we're going to play 60 games. Well, that changes things a little.
Yeah.
We're going to play 7-inning doubleheaders. Oh, well, that's going to change a little. We have 2 teams where they're just not going to play games for a little bit, and then you're going to have to play 18 doubleheaders. That's a little different.
It changes the game, but it doesn't necessarily have to ruin it.
But
Does that make sense? It's like another factor. It's another variable. It could happen to anybody.
Right.
So if, again, you want to risk it, you want to just take guys not have that depth. Again, the waiver wires, it's like Dynasty, it's a little different because you can't go to the waiver wires. Redraft, you can go to the waivers. So let's say you're a good quarterback. If you can have those extra IR spots, you'll be able to hold them so you don't have to drop them. And you go to the waivers, you pick up a guy, you stream the best option that you have.
Right.
That feels like, again, you hope that it's not your team. And in a way, you hope it's nobody's team. But, like,
when is it like just survival football? Like,
that's what it
the
could
fantasy
be.
team that wins is the one that is going to have the least COVID IR players by the end of the year.
I don't think that's going to be the case because people will come back from games too. And, like, you know, if you're out, I did read just
Welcome,
yesterday,
Jordan.
I think if you're asymptomatic, we could review it, but I think if you're
Right.
asymptomatic, you have to have like 3 negative tests to go back again. And if you do test positive with
Right.
symptoms, you have to wait. I want to say it was like 2 or 3 weeks.
But again, last week you had 2 major league pitchers go out in the town and they don't have to quarantine for 14 days. And the whole team's basically pissed at them because it's 2 starting pitchers.
Yeah, you know, it happens. I get it.
You have athletes making millions and millions of dollars, and you're going to tell them that they can't leave a certain area.
They're telling everybody they can't leave a certain area. They're
I
telling
know.
the whole world you can't
And
leave
again,
anywhere.
And again, when you're talking, you know, basketball, they're like, oh, basketball's got it all under control. We got 12 to 15
Smaller
players,
teams,
a couple coaches,
yeah.
and that's your bubble. You can fit them in a really big house. you know what I mean? That's football. You have 53 players on your roster. You got all the reserve players. You have all the coaches, all the staff to bring all the equipment. I mean, you have a staff of, 100 and 150 people probably for game days?
Yeah, and like
You can't bubble that
to
many
their
people.
credit, the basketball
Great success.
going well. But
again,
again,
it's-
then you see baseball. It's a good, a good thing
Middle.
to compare where you can see the difference between
Right.
having this many, players on a team versus this many.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be an interesting start. And again, that's why we have rules in place for, okay, if the NFL only plays 4 games, this is how we're going to pay out. If the season only plays
So tell
10
people
games.
about that, just exactly.
Yeah,
kinda what
we've gone
decided.
over it if you've been here for our other podcast. Essentially, if we play 7 or fewer games, we're going to refund everybody's money or just roll it to next season. If we have 8 weeks or more, we're going to pay out, We're going to pay out, I think, 30% of the pot for first place and roll the rest. And then obviously if we have a full season, we have a full season.
Heath says both Bears quarterbacks stink. Thank you, Heath.
That's not Heath.
Covered that.
That's
Oh,
not
is
Heath.
that
That's
Oh,
Pocket Pool.
Oh,
I don't know who Pocket Pool is. Pocket
Thanks,
Pool's on
Pocket
fire.
Pool.
tonight.
I thought it was just Heath.
Pocket
our-
Pool
our
hates
resident bear
the
fading fan.
Washington Football Club, and he hates both the Bears quarterbacks.
I'm afraid to ask him what he likes. But
And I agree. He says, Bill Belichick says, the best ability is availability.
yeah, I think others have said that. I don't know if he
Yeah.
coined the term, but yeah. And this is again. So back to your original question. Definitely things will be different with the
Right.
COVID. You're going to have more depth on your bench, more IR spots for those guys. Because again, that would be my biggest thing is like you don't want to have to drop your Christian McCaffrey to make room for a
Right.
guy to fill in for him while he's out for 2 or 3 weeks. You don't want to drop your Dalvin Cook. Again, you should be able to have an IR spot that you can be placing those guys on so you don't have to actually lose them.
I just want to look at football information on like medical information. Like, all right, I got 3 players that are, out with COVID. I got 2 more that are in quarantine. I got, a guy with, his quarterback is out. It's a backup quarterback.
And
this
that
guy
will
is
be covered through the
3
year.
linemen
They'll
were
talk.
hanging
You'll be
out
able to look it up.
together, and I don't know. There's gonna be some extreme circumstances, I think, in the season that we'll have to cross when we get there. What do you guys think? What does the chat think? We got 15 people in here now. What do we think about this?
Somebody's shouting out Nick. They made it.
Uh-oh. Yep, that's Jordan. Jordan's here.
Happy to have you, Jordan.
Yep. Welcome aboard.
Air Jordan.
Make sure to hit that follow button.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
Definitely.
already on there. He's good. He's
All
good.
right. Nick's checking the list.
I'm checking the list twice. Both times. You're still on there. All right, what else you got? Anything?
Oh, just NFL in general. No, I'm glad we got to bash AJ Green for a little bit.
All right, perfect.
We talked about how great Gronk is.
really, those are the two most important topics that we're going to cover.
Yeah, if we can get your guys. Again, I said about Jalen Hurd.
Actually, who's your guy?
My
give me
God,
your
Calvin
guy.
Ridley. Breakout. This year's Godwin, 1 billion fantasy points.
So you're calling a top 5 season from Calvin Ridley?
What Godwin finished last year? Do you know?
6th.
6th? Ooh, I'll give him top 10. I'm going to put Calvin Ridley top 10 wide receiver.
I'll take the bet.
In the NFL.
I'd probably even take it.
Finishes higher than AJ Green. $1 million.
I think he will finish ahead of AJ Green. One spot ahead of him.
I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
Other than that, who's my guys? Man.
That are a little against the grain. Got any?
CJ Uzomah, we've talked about, is my deep sleeper tight end pickup, who you're going to wish, he's going to be there on the waivers, and you take a chance on him.
Jordan, I don't have the words going yet.
So this isn't a hot take. This is a guy that everybody's aware of. But Devante Adams, I've gone back and forth of like, is he going to be great because
People
he's the
forget
only
about
guy
him.
to throw it to?
He was the only guy last year.
Or is he going to struggle because there's nobody else to throw it to? Like,
He just gets hurt now. That's the problem.
and people have made the argument that Devante Adams, there's not been anybody else to throw it to on the team. This is different. Like Alan Lazard, is he number 2? And then you got like, it's not even like Geronimo Allison,
It's unfortunate that the Packers didn't know that they were going to need, wide receiver help at the beginning of the year. When the draft was happening.
Super fortunate.
Oh, wait, they did.
But like, and then, so they signed Crowder in free agency. He was the only wide receiver that they really picked up through free agency or the draft. He opts out. So Devante Adams, the path for him to have 1 million, just catches because there's the only guy they can throw it to. But at some point, when you're just getting double covered in the strongest corners,
are you taking him first after Michael Thomas?
When everything started, and when Crowder was on the team, when I was like, yeah, I'll take him. I was high on him. I was psyched, and now I'm starting to think like. But last year I thought like the Packers are going to be bad. They're going to finish the worst in the division.
I know,
and they didn't, and they were good. Devante Adams also had some injuries last year. He had some foot things. The AJ
last
Green
couple years he's had
syndrome.
some lingering things. Yep, and concussions and.
So. I think where he's going in the first round, I probably don't take him. Maybe if I have the last pick of the first round, I'm trying to load up on wide receivers.
Yeah, I still like him.
But no, I think I'm out on him and Michael Thomas. I think that I'm strongly considering a running back in the first round.
I don't like Michael Thomas.
He catches everything that Drew Brees throws to him. Drew's good.
Pocket Pool says Ridley top 10 would make 2 top 10 wide receivers on one team. Not counting Hurst, Treadwell, Gurley, whoever else gets the ball. Treadwell, I don't think is.
Do you think Julio Jones plays a whole season?
Treadwell's like one of those cardboard cutouts. So they just set him out there on the field.
I think Julio's going to miss time this year. He's an older guy. He's had some little ding up kind of things. He's played through some stuff. He's tough. He's not, he's not a guy.
I'm not worried about Julio.
He doesn't pull the Alshon
Pocket Pool's not worried about Julio.
I'm
with Pocket Pool on this
I think Julio's going to be good. I think he's going to have a good year. He could be, but I think they could both have a 1,000-yard season.
I think they, but are they going to throw it to Gurley?
No.
This is
I don't think they're going to throw it to Gurley that much.
This is the Matt Ryan good year, though, right?
I think they're going to throw it to Gurley. It is again, in the alternating years. For those who don't know, Matt Ryan goes off on good year, bad year, good year, bad year.
Last year was subpar. So
now remind me, did they get rid of their offensive coordinator? Are they going new offensive coordinator? I think that is correct.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. The crowd can check me.
They switch a lot.
But I was surprised because their offense wasn't bad last year.
It wasn't.
Their defense was bad. But it didn't.
But that's
get
what
done.
you want.
You need to make
that's
a change.
What you want.
And so having that new, again, I think that's part of been the narrative also is that he has struggled some of those years because they've had offensive coordinator changes and it takes them a little while. But I'm going to predict 1,000 yards plus for Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones. I think that Hayden Hurst, I'm going to take a chance on him, but I don't think he's going to have a Hooper kind of season.
No. Well, that's again. Ridley had probably almost 1,000 yards last year, right? Or maybe 1,000.
He gets touchdowns too.
And Hooper
so I
had
really like
a ton of yards as well.
His fantasy value, and
Barry said he doesn't see any masks on.
We were kissing before the show.
Yeah, we
so
mouth
we've
kiss all the
already
time.
been deeply infected, but
yeah.
No, there's about 6 feet between us, I think.
No, your measurement's way off. Maybe 2.5. But we're talking this way.
Hey, this is the kind of risk that we take to bring this information to you, the people. The stats and
the
hot
Falcons
takes.
had one of the worst running games in the NFL last year. Speaking of that, Mr. Freeman is still unsigned. You guys think he'll be picked up? Freeman's going to be the first pickup when a running back goes down for injury or COVID or anything.
I have actually considered this. He makes all the sense in the world for the Falcons. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what, again, you never know exactly what it was like when they,
because Ito Smith's so good.
but they weren't necessarily on, bad terms when they split up. I think it was just they kind of came to an understanding. Yeah, they got Ito Smith.
Barry, hit that follow.
There you go.
Check it
They
out.
got Brian Hill. So I believe I named Brian Hill's Brian Edwards in a way earlier show. So
Yeah.
for those of you that have been watching and that's been bothering you for
I
weeks,
saw
and
Ito
weeks,
Smith
I
got picked up in
apologize.
our league today.
And you know who got dropped for Ito Smith?
Who?
Brian Hill.
Brian Hill.
Yep.
There it is.
So Chris had
They
bought into
know.
the Brian Hill hype and must have seen a report that said
know.
Ito looked better. If I got to drop Jalen Hurd, he'd be a guy I'd consider picking up. But yeah, that's a team that because you're not confident in Ito or
Right.
Hill. You're just looking at them like, even if Gurley
Again,
goes down with,
they'd have to get all the touches and the linemen would have to hold up. But
So the
again,
line's not great.
Matt Ryan Goodyear.
But Matt Ryan Goodyear is just going to be him throwing it to Calvin and
Running
Julio,
back
not handing
Goodyear
it to the
comes
running back.
with quarterback Goodyear. I'll take Gurley. I like Gurley.
So I've a little bit cooled on Gurley. A lot of the pro fantasy football podcasts that I watch, a lot of the experts are kind of
Barry was a Gurley
out
truther.
on Gurley. Gurley held up pretty good last year. Didn't have any big injuries.
Yeah.
That knee didn't just all of a sudden fall off. He had yards. His stats weren't great. I think they did on the Footballers a game where they played Gurley or Montgomery.
Right.
And Montgomery had outperformed him in many stat areas except for touchdowns, but Gurley just kept getting those goal line touches and falling into the end zone. He could be that for the Falcons.
For sure.
And if you can find the end zone, that's a great skill for a running back.
Do you like Gurley in the first?
No, hard pass.
Do you like Gurley in the
second?
No. Hard pass.
Barry, yeah, you missed the trade talk. You can restart the VOD in the video section.
End of the second if all the good running backs have been pulled off the board, but probably not.
Right.
Third. There we're talking about
I
Todd
don't think
Gurley.
Gurley makes it to the third. I'm taking him before them
Depends
probably.
on your league.
Again, running
He's got
backs
that
this
big
year.
name. So again, if he comes out has a couple good games, you can swap him before he gets hurt. That'd be
He's
going
going
to
to get the ball, right? He's got to.
The Falcons, again, a good point that was made in the chat is the Falcons, their line's not good. They're not great at running ball. They're not a team that necessarily relies on running the ball.
It doesn't matter. They got to throw it. They'll toss to him, run around. No big deal.
Well, they also didn't throw it to the running backs all the time. Like,
Where would Freeman be going if he was still there?
Same spot. I actually heard on one of the casts that the spot that Gurley was going at the time when they were doing the podcast about a week or two ago was like exactly the same spot that Devante Freeman was getting.
Okay, so if we
drafted.
take out Gurley and replace him with Freeman, where are you taking Freeman?
A little bit lower.
Much lower, right?
I'm thinking way lower.
I'm thinking a round and a half.
He's got again, whichever. So
It
either
puts him
guy,
in David Montgomery area.
they're going to be the guy. They're going to get the carries. They'll throw it to him sometimes. They're both like talented backs, but Devante Freeman, like you weren't happy with his year last year, and that could easily be what Todd Gurley's year
Mixon
looks like
or
this
Gurley?
year. Mixon.
Coleman or Gurley?
Gurley.
Carson or Gurley?
Carson.
Really?
Yeah, I like Carson. I like Chris Carson a lot. If he can come back and be healthy for the first week and he doesn't have a hip injury, I'm taking him. I take him, above a lot of guys. So, like, we'll do this or that with Carson. So you got Chris Carson or James Conner.
Who's it?
James Conner, Steelers.
I don't like Connor. I'll take
Okay.
anybody but Connor.
Okay. Chris Carson or Melvin Gordon.
I'll buy into the Broncos, Melvin Gordon.
Okay, it's interesting. I kind of like Melvin Gordon too.
Yeah.
Chris Carson
They're going all out.
or
I don't think they're going to hold back.
David Montgomery.
Well, we got David Johnson or Gurley in the chat.
Gurley.
Pocket pool.
I'm hard out on David Johnson.
Really?
Oh yeah, hard pass. I won't hit the drop again, but hard pass.
I mean, if Lamar Miller was there, you'd take Lamar Miller. Is it the ADP?
So it's again, he looked washed last year. He's had injuries, number of years, different ones in different spots. I think they're going to throw him the ball, but the Texans aren't a team that loves to throw to the running back.
Right.
I think that they've got enough
If he
wide
runs
receivers.
around anymore, he might have to.
I think they have enough wide receivers that none of them are going to be great for fantasy, but I think that they're going to throw it, and like those guys, some will have a blow-up week. Will Fuller will have a big week, and then
Pocket pool's not impressive with
Brandon
your
Cooks will
analysis
have
here.
a big week.
He wants the David Johnson hype.
No, David Johnson done.
No,
they've
done?
also got another running back who can catch out of the backfield. It's probably a Duke Johnson year.
What's Dave Johnson's ADP? You got that handy?
Too high for me. I want to say that he's going.
Barry says none of those guys will win you a championship in fantasy. Barry,
Todd Gurley, I think, has the potential.
running back is so thin. You got to have some of these guys.
If you're taking a shot,
Who? Give me a hot take. Who you like more than Todd Gurley? I got to know this ADP for Dave Johnson.
I'm looking. Hold on. I've got to sort through my 50 different fantasy football windows I've got open.
Yeah, that's a drop for the meantime.
Oh, let's
I have
see.
claps. That's all I got handy. Give us a long one.
Oh, yeah, I got to jump back into my deep takes.
I don't know. I can play some Jeopardy music here.
Hold on. So this is all right. So just tell me that AJ Green's going to finish as a top 10 wide receiver.
He is going to finish as a top 10 wide receiver.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Name that movie.
At no
Name
point
it. Not you.
in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that
May
could be
God have
considered a
mercy on your
rational
soul.
thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Nobody in chat has it yet. Maybe it's delayed. They'll figure it out. Pocket pool at Barry. One of these guys will win you one of the best flex in the league and top 10 back, maybe top 5 this year for DJ. Top 5 for DJ.
So,
Aaron Jones over all those guys. Gurley is one of those guys that can score. AJ Dillon's going to take all those Aaron Jones TDs, no?
the fantasy footballers
Okay.
who are Arizona Cardinals fans,
Yeah.
they have him as their 16th ranked running back,
Okay.
right behind Le'Veon Bell, Austin Eckler, and Joe Mixon. But they have him ahead of Chris Carson, Melvin Gordon, Todd Gurley, James Conner, Leonard Fournette.
So where's Todd Gurley at on the list?
Gurley is number 19.
I like him more than 19.
Yeah, I like Gurley a lot better than David Johnson. I'm full out on David Johnson. Won't pick him up anywhere. If someone offered him for nothing in Dynasty, I'd grab him. But
I like them both as
Lev Bell or David Johnson.
David Johnson.
I think Lev's going to get more touchdowns this year.
I
He had
don't
really
think-
low touchdown
I
numbers
don't think
last
Love
year.
cares. I don't think he cares.
No, there's that report from last year, if you weren't paying attention, that he called in sick with the flu and was out. I don't know if he actually missed a game or if he just missed some practices.
Yeah.
And he was spotted bowling at 3 a.m. That's not a good look for Lev.
Barry blasphemy. Pocket Pool said Aaron Jones will not repeat.
But
And,
yeah, again, I
Barry
think
took
Lev
exception.
still got some juice in the tank, but I don't think that the Jets are going to be good. Yeah, I'm just, again, out on the Jets because I think they could
Le'Veon
finish
Bell knows
bottom
his
3.
team's going to be garbage, and he's just going to write his
Getting that
contract out.
bag, getting that money.
Over under a week 4, Lev Bell asking for a trade.
I don't know what.
Come on, over under a week 4.5.
I'd have to look at what his contract
I
has
would
left.
bet-
This is last year on this contract. I think it is.
I don't think it matters. I think if the Jets
If
could get
he
rid of
goes
him,
to the Buccaneers next year or the Patriots, if he goes to the Patriots next year, how do you feel about Lev Bell?
not the Patriots. If he goes to Tampa Bay, Poppy likey.
Let's say he goes to the Patriots.
Poppy likey if he goes to Tampa Bay.
Oh man,
Come on.
Come
Come on.
He's going to be hard to overtake Ronald Jones.
What if he
after
goes back
this
to the
giant
Steelers?
breakout year? Steelers don't want him. He quit on the
Seahawks.
Steelers.
Like I said, they're probably all right.
No, if I'm the
Who could pay
Steelers
him?
or a Steelers fan, I don't think I'm forgiving Lev Bell. He just doesn't have it like he did when he was, a stud. And it's a classic trap that the NFL teams fall into. Like, oh, this running back's great. Let's pay him. And
Yeah. Oh, no.
oh, we made a mistake.
That's Aaron Jones. I have a feeling.
Yeah, again, a lot of
Barry,
things. should happen.
Heath and I talked about this. Packers aren't going to pay Aaron Jones, right? This is last year with the Packers.
So I have seen reports saying that they, it's a priority for them. They want to keep him, but they did just draft a running back, fairly highly.
They
in
want to
the
keep him
draft.
happy so he plays really good football
And an
all year.
interesting little side note is just that LaFleur, the coach of the Green Bay Packers,
I agree,
came
Barry.
from the Tennessee Titans, where they had Derrick Henry,
Right.
and A.J. Dillon's comparison has been to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
So they didn't just give him the ball all the time when LaFleur was there. But again, it does just make you wonder if he kind of likes to have that running back and he wants to kind of build that team where they can pound it with him and then use what's left to Aaron Rodgers to, throw some passes to. Because again, the Titans don't need a ton of great wide receivers because they just hammer it and then they throw it to
ground and
A.J.
pound.
Brown. and then have a middling, like,
Right.
kind of second wide receiver.
Yeah,
and it's worked for him.
Barry agrees. No way they pay Aaron Jones. So where's Aaron Jones go next year? Way too early call.
All of these running backs, I'm just looking at the Falcons because Todd Gurley's going to be a 1-year deal. I think they're going to use him up as much as they can, and he's going to be gone. I think Miami's going to draft somebody. I don't think they're going to pay a guy.
Early pick, I think he goes to Miami.
Aaron Jones, I like at the Falcons. He's the guy that I've kind of been thinking that that's where it's going to go, but he could end up on a number of teams because there are a lot of teams that could use him even as not just a primary workhorse guy, but could really add him as like a number 2 guy. But he's probably going to want to get paid like a 1.
Yeah, you would think so. A.J. Dillon's comparison is to the league rushing leader. That is insane. The guy's never seen the field. I mean,
just the body type, the running style. Now, I'm not saying again.
I don't think he's.
No, it's not my comp. It's just one that I've heard as far as like the type of runner he is. No,
but again, I
don't think he's going to come in and just be Derrick Henry and have those kind of yards.
Is Zeke the only running back that's worked out when you pay him a bunch of money?
We'll see how Christian goes. Come on, Christian. My dynasty running back, the heart and soul of my team.
What if he goes down? You go down.
Oh, no, Christian,
you just start trading assets for next year.
But it's, again, the thing, if Christian goes down, it's just that the collective heartbreak will help to just soothe me through the time.
Everybody will be so sad.
It won't be just me, like when Jalen Hurd got hurt today. And I was like, no. I had such high hopes
I'm on this island by myself.
Yeah. I was the only guy. Just like, no, Jalen.
You and Jalen.
Whereas if Christian
just
goes
calling
down,
each other, I'm so sorry, man.
You're just going to hear that collective just men across the neighborhood going, no.
Oh, man. You should go on that website where you can get NFL players and athletes to like make a short message for you and get Jalen Hurd to give you a "so sorry Jalen Hurd got hurt" message.
I just want him to make a message to Christian about
please don't do this,
Christian. Just like
please
safe.
don't do
Be
this.
so safe. Yeah, I just want a lady. Like, I just want a bunch of middle-aged ladies from Twitter to just follow him around, yelling, "Wear your mask! Wear your mask!"
Oh man!
Oh, stay safe, stay healthy, Christian.
Yeah,
sweet Christian.
Bless the knees. I think they say.
I just want him and Mahomes just in a bubble.
Right.
They're just together. They never talk to anyone else. They just go to their games. Like,
what about Ertz? You got Ertz in that bubble too.
Ertz, my championship year 2 years ago. Yes, Ertz still. He's very important to my team because he's like my tight end, and then behind him, I'm gonna have to go to the waiver, get Uzama. He's waiting for me. He's like, hey, I talked to him, like, buddy, can I just drop you for a little while, get some of these pieces, see who blows up, see who busts, and once they bust, you're right back in.
Yeah.
You just stand over here. Like, I'll be back for you.
Yeah. It's going to be weird.
He's just, it's nice to know that he's there. Like,
just a nice little safety.
But Ian Thomas, though, I've been talking about Uzama that I've kind of neglected Ian Thomas, who's also kind of a sleeper tight end. He's going to be the guy for the Panthers. I think the next guy behind him, like, they picked up a guy from the XFL who I don't think, how often do the XFL guys come in and just get all the touches?
Right.
I've seen reports saying he's the guy. He's, the one in lead spot for being the tight end for the Panthers. They've utilized the tight end in the past. At Bridgewater, he's a guy, has a reputation of kind of doing more of the checkdowns, the shorter dink and dunk.
Tight ends right now in the NFL.
It's just Gronk and Noah.
It is brutal.
I personally feel like there's a lot more guys that you could have a chance to produce this year. I think it's going to be
produce 4 points.
I think there's going to be a higher tight end average points.
Okay, so let's see, tight ends.
We're just listing the top 5, top 10. How many do you want?
Tight ends 4 through 12, right? 4 through 12. Over under 3.5 points a game.
4 through 12.
4 through 12, yeah.
That average?
Average 3.5 points. If you take all the players this season, tight end ranks 4 through 12, how many points will they average?
I'll go over.
Over 3.5?
I'll go 5.5.
Tight ends suck. Tight ends suck so bad.
Not all of them.
They're terrible.
They're coming on this year. It's going to happen.
Okay, this has to be my alternate account. Somebody's got to have hacked into my computer. Pocket pull here. Tyler Higbee will be the value tight end this year. The Rams will have. I agree. I think Robert Woods and Tyler Higbee are going to be big winners this season.
No worry about Everett. Or
I have
Higbee.
Going
to be in on 2 tight end sets.
No, Everett's there just to like look cool and help out and have a cool ass name. Like, that's it.
That's a couple that I've seen people stash in if he's available in any of your deeper leagues or dynasty leagues.
Again,
if Higbee goes down, Everett was really good.
There's like history on Higbee though. Like there's performance. Like you've seen him do it before, and late in the year last year. I like Higbee, and no more Mr. Concussion.
I don't hate Higbee. I probably won't draft him. He's going a little bit higher.
Higbee or Uzama?
Higbee. Uzama's not a draft this guy. Like Uzama's like if you have a deep bench, if you have a dynasty league and you need a backup who's going to be able to plug and play. If you're looking at the waivers and you're like, oh man, who's going to look at Uzama? He's got look at his schedule. He's got a rookie quarterback who might check it down a little bit.
If I'm contemplating starting Uzama, my season is already not where I wanted it to go.
It just means that Gronk came back and just pulled a muscle, spiking the ball after his 7 touchdown game.
Man.
And you got to trade him away, and now you need a guy.
All right, we got 12 people in chat still. Over under top 4 for Gronk this year. Tight ends.
I'll let him
PPR,
talk
full PPR.
Before I skewed the results.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get results, but we'll find out here soon.
So you had mentioned Swift when we were talking earlier, and how what do you say it was a range of outcomes is what the report.
They don't. Like? His role is not made up yet. They don't know his role.
I'm rising on him a little bit.
Oh,
I think that
quid pro quo.
Again, if he's going a little bit later, if you can get him in a mid round. A lot of the analysts I watched before the draft, before the NFL draft, they had him as their number 1 running back, the most talented guy. And again, Kerryon Johnson wearing a knee brace, getting a little bit older. He's been banged up. He's got some miles.
Don't like the Kerryon.
Kerryon I liked it as a late guy because it's like maybe maybe he gets in. Maybe the Lions use him still. Again, I think he's a talented guy if he's not injured, but if he's not injured is a big if.
That is a big if. That is a big if.
I thought I saw that they added another running back
Pocket
recently.
pool. Okay, now I know it's not me. Gronk will be top 20 maybe. Only going to be available 8 to 10 games.
Finally talking some sense.
Finally being realistic here.
Yeah, I think that.
Oh, man. The Packers are going to pay Aaron Jones.
Let me see if I can find the exact
David
report.
Johnson's going to be a hero.
A report
Can
from
Swift pass
Fantasy
block?
Pros.
He's a running back, not a blocker, right?
Again, I think that if he's in, I've seen, he seems like he's kind of an all-around, can do all the things.
Again, I don't know that that's Kerryon Johnson's niche.
But they were slinging the ball last year when Stafford was there.
They were. Yeah, I don't know about Swift's pass blocking prowess, but I don't think it's as good as JT's or anybody else they could have gotten. I guess JT was gone, but
yeah.
I don't know.
Scrolling through these, and it's all your players hurt. Hawkinson, ankle. AJ Green removed from practice.
CEH top 4 season.
Top 4, no.
No. Top 7.
I think that's definitely in the range of
Derrick Henry, CEH.
Half PPR?
Full
PPR, CEH. I think that makes a difference, too. I think CEH is going to catch a lot of balls. Derrick Henry, I think, is going to run for 1,000,000 yards. I think he's just going to, that's all they want to do. If he can stay healthy, and I still think that's an if. Like, people know that Derrick Henry's a big guy. He's a bruiser. He can pound. But, like, if you just run into people over and over and over and over again.
Right. If you're getting the ball 30 times a game.
Yeah.
You're probably going to get hurt.
That's a lot of volume.
It is a lot of volume. But, again, he's been pretty durable. If he can't pass block, he's not a 3-down back. I feel like pass blocking is something they can kind of teach you how to manage to the point
Some
where
people are better than others. That was one of
Ronald
Ronald Jones's things that was hurting him.
Yeah, but he's been bad this whole time. I think McCoy's got the job, no?
Even Jason Moore on the footballers is starting to warm up. It's going to happen.
Warm
This
up
is
to
the year.
To Rojo?
To Rojo.
Oh, my God. I hate Rojo.
I like Miles Sanders. I've been rising on him a lot.
Oh, man. Now you're going out on
End of the
a
first.
direction I just don't like. I don't like that direction.
A shot at the end of the first on Miles Sanders.
Soon you're going to start talking
here
about
it
Bills
is.
running backs, and then
for.
I know you've lost it.
So it says O.J. Howard to lead Bucks tight ends in snaps ? That's the name of the alert that popped up. It says
Somebody's trying to get Gronk.
Howard has impressed early on and is reportedly a different player from last year. I hope so, because I kept him and he was terrible.
They're impressed because he showed up for work one day.
This is a quote. I'd bet Howard plays the most snaps of the tight ends with Brait, maybe a few more than Rob Gronkowski, but that's just a guess, said King. All right, so
Who is this guy?
Looks like he's a beat writer from there, or else let me check.
From nowhere.
All right, you feel the air, and I'll look
I just
at it.
don't. I mean, if it came from Rappaport or somebody like actually, that's in the know, I'd be more interested. I don't believe it. You don't sign Gronk, make the news, have Gronk, and not throw him the ball a billion times.
It was Peter King of NBC Sports, so it was a reporter, not a coach.
Nobody. Never heard of her.
I've heard nobody say, hey, take a shot on O.J. Howard late in your draft as a tight end.
Again, so I don't think you pick a narrative in your head and find the research that fits that
That
narrative.
is just what came up on the ticker.
Yeah.
Fantasy Pros ticker. I didn't write it. I just remembered it.
Come on, if it was Uzama news, you would have been all about it.
I saw it, though.
Fit the narrative.
Also, again,
Oh, my
AJ Green
goodness.
news, like Hawkinson news. I saw O.J. Howard to lead over Gronk.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. All right.
Winning.
All right, let's wrap this up. What
All
else you
right.
got to say? Anything?
No, I think that's
right.
covered a lot.
We're going to leave our people here.
Anything from the chat? Any last
Oh,
thoughts? Any
yeah.
questions?
Any last thoughts, chat? Hey, we need some more Why You Suck at Fantasy Football topics. So
Yeah, we're always looking for those. You can
yeah, why
throw
don't you
them up
rip a
on
few of
here.
those off?
Or if you're checking out our YouTube videos, some of our older episodes, if you just
Yeah.
leave a comment on
New
there
video
about
posted today.
things you'd like to see. Yep.
Fancy
We got
Addicts.
one up. So that one, the topic was...
Hey, Pocket Pool. Thanks for the follow.
All right.
Bring your friends.
Glad to have you. Yeah, appreciate your comments also.
Yeah.
Yeah, jump on anytime. Give us your thoughts. Tell Nick that Gronk, although the most fun tight end, might not have the highest fantasy finish.
He's the best. All right.
I almost want to see it. And then all your other players can just fail.
Pocket Pool, the next show will be at least next Monday. We're doing definitely Mondays at about 8:30 Central. When the football season starts, we're going to do some Sunday live broadcast during the games and do like live fantasy coverage. So that should be fun. And that's kind of what we're working towards is towards the season and that live action.
Yep. Tell your friends.
Yep. We're in just outside Chicago. Yep. Alrighty. Have a good one. We'll see you on the next one.